The lesson for today is on ratios. Ratios are comparing two quantities using division. In the upper left-hand corner, there is a picture of both blue and red paper clips. If we were writing a ratio that was comparing red paper clips to blue paper clips, we could write this three different ways using math. We can write it as 2 red clips to 6 blue, 2:6, or 2/6 as a fraction. When expressing a ratio using fraction, it needs to be in simplest form. So 2/6 can be reduced by dividing the top and the bottom number by 2 to 1/3. So the ratios could be represented by 2/6, 2:6, or fractional form 1/3. In this next example of ratios, there was a survey taken of several students that named their favorite flavor of gum. This, you need to write a ratio that compares the number of students who chose fruit to the total number of students. The number of students who chose fruit was 3. The total number of students can be found by adding up 9 plus 8 plus 3 plus 1. If I were to do that, my total would be 21. Now, that is okay to have, except for when we have a ratio in fractional form, we need to write it down in simplest form. Both 3 and 21 can be divided by 3, which gives me a final reduced fraction as 1/7. So the ratio says 1 out of every 7 students preferred fruit gum. Using the same chart, we can also set up a ratio that shows how many students like spearmint gum compared to all students. That ratio would be 1/21. Can't be reduced. So for every 1 out of 21 students preferred spearmint gum. The code for today are the Chicago Bears. Bears is the code. The final example that I'd like to do today for you is found on page 22 in your book. It is to set up a ratio as a fraction in simplest form, pens to pencils. If you count up in the diagram that I have here, we need to count up how many pens. So counting pens, we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 pens. So we have 6 pens. And we are going to count up how many pencils. Okay, so we're going to count up pencils now. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 pencils. Now, we could leave it like this, but again, the directions said to have it in simplest form. So 6/8, I can divide the top and the bottom each by 2, which my final fraction is 3/4. Now, what does that mean? It means that for every 3 pens, there are 4 pencils. My final challenge to you is to try on page 22, number 2 in your book, and come tomorrow with questions that you may have regarding ratios. Good night.